Hello, today I'm going to explain Lab 3 for computer programming. What we have here is our circuit. We have an array of LEDs, a button, and we're going to be using a motor. To make sure that we know that the motor is running, we're going to be using this fan to make it move, or so you can see that the motor's running. This is how we wired it up. The LEDs are wired up basically color-coded, red to red, green to green LED, blue to green, or to blue LED, and then the yellow wire to the yellow LED. That's how we have it wired up. Alright, let's move on to the code and then we can show how the circuit works. So over here we have our variable set. We have our array of LEDs all set to 2, 3, 6, and 7, all those ports. Our motor is set to 10, our button to 8, and then we have two variables, one to keep count of the button presses, and then we have one to store the state of the button. In our void setup, we have all our inputs and outputs laid out. Our only input is our button. Our LEDs are all outputs set at 0, 1, 2, and 3. So we're just going to be using 0 through 3. Our motor is an output too. And then we began serial communication here. We're going to use that today to make sure that we can debug anything in case anything's wrong. In our void loop, our first statement is going to be to check the state of the button. So button state equals digital read button. It will read the state of the button and then send it back to button state to store it. If it reads that the button has been clicked, it will activate this if statement. So if button state equals high, then it will increase the count by 1. So right now it's at 0. Once it increases it to 1, then this for loop will be activated, which is for the LEDs. And it will repeat up to 4 times. And then we move on to the next couple lines. Here we have if I is less than the count. So if the count is 1, if we press a button and the count is 1, then the LED is now less than the count. So the first LED would be 0. So the first LED would light up. If we press it again, then it would be 2, and 0 and 1 would light up. So now 2 LEDs are lit, and it basically goes so on until it gets to the 4th one. And then if the count equals 5, then all the LEDs turn off. Next, we have our switch, which is going to go based off of the count. We have 5 cases, 5 steps basically. Each one is going to be for 1 button press. So when the count is 1, the motor is going to be on. When the count is 2, the motor is going to be low. When the count is 3, we will be using a custom function that we wrote down here. And basically what we have here is the variable is going to be the motor. And the amount of times that it's going to be on is going to be count 2, which we will show you right here in a bit. And then we will have another variable, delay time. Basically, we have a for loop that will repeat itself as many times as the count 2 variable is. And it will just keep going until, like, let's say we set count 2 at 5, then it will keep repeating until it has hit 5, and then it'll stop. So it will run this code, which is just to turn on the motor, delay it however many seconds we place it up above, and this line right here, which is 500, so half a second, turn off the motor, and then delay it however much we set it to. So for step 3, we basically have our custom function. Our variable will be the motor, and then it will repeat 5 times and delay for 500 seconds. In step 4, when the count is 4, the motor will turn on, and then in step 5, the motor will turn off. And then we also have, if the count is 5, then the count will reset. That way, for the LED and the motors, it knows when to reset, so it doesn't just keep going to 6, 7, 8. And then I set a delay so that it won't count. It won't like. Oh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry about that. We set a delay to avoid debouncing. It was without this delay, it was counting 2 clicks instead of 1, and we don't want that because then it'll just skip a step. And yeah, that's the code. Now we go on to the circuit. All right, let's see if it works. Oh, actually, first let's check it. So we're gonna check it. Check it. Okay, so we checked it. Nothing's wrong with it. Let's upload it to our Arduino. All right, now that it's uploaded to Arduino, let's run it. That's the first step. The second button press, motor should be off. Third button press, it's gonna turn on and off. And then our fourth step, the motor will just be on. And then on my fifth press, all our LEDs should turn off and our motor should turn off. There you go. Let's run it again. First step, 1 LED and the motor should turn on. Second press, 2 LEDs, motor turns off. Third press, 3 LEDs should be lit up and the motor should be turning on and off. Fourth press, 4 LEDs should be lit up, motor should be running constantly. And on our last press, everything turns off. There you go, that's the video.